coming at you live with the top 10 pass catching units of college football through 9 weeks of action. All 130 are ranked over on the website at pff.com. But for the top 10 in a brief rundown, we're going to go through them right here, right now, starting at number 10, going to 1, but number 10, the Iowa State Cyclones, obviously not having the best game of the season in week 9, but they have been a unit that has been very solid, getting the ball from Brock Purdy. Deshaunte Jones, the leading man for them as well. But again, this is a team that has 127 conversions through the air. Those are first downs and touchdowns on just 201 receptions. When they get the ball, they're moving the chains, they're scoring touchdowns. And outside of that performance this past week from Brock Purdy, he's been able to find a lot of his playmakers. Charlie Kolar at tight end as well has been a great guy for them to get to. And this is a unit top to bottom, though, from Breece Hall at running back, Jones, Kolar. This is a unit that is worthy of this top 10 performance, averaging 7.77 yards per route run. That is 14th in the country as well. So Iowa State checking in at number 10, kicking off the list. Going to number 9, a unit headlined by a big name guy in Gabriel Davis, the UCF Knights, averaging a whopping 16.39 yards per catch. And again, these are just these pass catchers, so receivers, running backs, and tight ends that are eligible for passes on a play. So 16.39 yards per reception. That is 6th in the country. They're averaging 9.04 yards per route run, also 6th. UCF getting it done by a lot in favor there, obviously, for Gabriel Davis, but Dylan Gabriel and the rest of that team have been able to find the ball to their playmakers as well. Nixon on the outside, a couple of guys out of the backfield, and Otis Anderson, and just the way they get it done has been very impressive. But Gabriel Davis, the leading man there. UCF at number 9. Number 8, got to go out west. The USC Trojans have quite the trio. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Tyler Vaughns, and Michael Pittman himself. These three are among the best trio in the entire college football landscape, but this is the unit as a whole, so those three carry the weight heavily here. Very comfortable hands, very safe hands. Only 6.4% of the catchable passes thrown their way have been dropped. So all three quarterbacks that have thrown passes this season for the Trojans have been able to find success getting these guys the ball. Again, going back to yards per route run, USC as a unit is 18th overall. Very good numbers across the board. They're carrying them there through the Pac-12 play with only one loss. Got to avoid a slip-up against Oregon Ducks, and the USC, based upon their current projections, could make some noise in the Pac-12. Their receivers, a lot to do with that as well. Going to number 7 as well, a team that needs no introduction by this stage, undefeated SMU, carried by James Prochet. Shane Buechele has been very good for them. The Texas transfer at quarterback. They are top 30 in a bevy of our metrics, and overall one of the highest graded units by our PFF grades as well. So top 30 in yards per route run. An impressive thing, though, as well, with Reggie Roberson, him going down with an injury is hurting their chances here. But they should remain undefeated throughout this season at 12-0, going to the AAC championship game. But again, contested catches as well. They're catching 50% of the 50-50 balls thrown their way as well. That, surprisingly, is a top mark in the entire country. So SMU gets it done when necessary. James Prochet has one of probably the best catches of the year in the triple overtime, the game winner, as well, to keep their undefeated streak alive. So SMU, their receiving core, a team to watch out for. Kicking it off here, though, we're going to get into the top 6 of the entire country. A team that is number 1 in our books, Clemson, the overall team number 1, 6th overall ranked wide receiver core, Justin Ross, T. Higgins, the top 2 guys, Armani Rogers, Travis Etienne out of the backfield. This is a team that does it, and does it with speed, does it just with a talented group of players everywhere, basically. They have 99 receiving conversions. Again, those are first downs and touchdowns on just 171 catches. They're averaging 7.49 yards after the catch per reception. Top figures in basically everything, and obviously very well worthy of the 6th place overall. But those top 5 teams, we're getting to them now, just that much more deserving than Clemson at this stage of the game after 9 weeks of college football. It's a list. I know they have a couple of losses, but number 5, Washington State, and their wide receiving core have just been absolutely outstanding this season. 7.82 yards per route run. It ranks 13th, but when you take it into consideration that they've been targeted and in route as pass catchers, 392 targeted passes their way. So those numbers, extrapolating it out, obviously equal a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of conversions. They're doing it well. They're not dropping a lot of passes, and it's been necessary. They're winning contested catches. Anthony Gordon, not quite the quarterback that Gardner Minshew was last year, but again, these receivers are very talented. Easop Winston is the name to know for the Cougars if you watch them going forward, the number 5 ranked team in our pass catching unit rankings. After week 9, we're getting to the nitty-gritty here. Number 4 on the list, though. This is a team also undefeated like SMU, like Clemson, and like 2 teams ahead of them. But with the trio they have, it's Chris Autman-Bell, Rashad Bateman, Tyler Johnson, 3 of the best receivers in the entire country, the Minnesota Golden Gophers, at number 4 overall. When targeting the receivers and their pass catchers, they see a 129.5 passer rating. That is 5th in the country. 158.3 is perfect. 129.5 is absolutely elite. Tanner Morgan is finding their playmakers in space, in stride. They're coming up with big-time catches. They're averaging 8.91 yards per route run. They top 10 figure. They're a top 5 graded team overall as well. So the Gophers and their trio, and as well as some of their backs out of the backfield and a couple of the tight ends that have made some noise as well. So the Gophers are a team to watch. They are super talented on the receiving end of Tanner Morgan passes. Going back to the Big 12, we're kicking off the top 3 here. The Oklahoma Sooners come in at number 3. Again, like their other Big 12 counterpart on the top 10 list here, they did not have the greatest game in Week 9, but again, not their fault. Defense allows 48 points. They lose to Kansas State, but CeeDee Lamb and the rest, Charleston Rambo, Jadon Hazelwood, the rest of this core at Oklahoma has just been absolutely dominant. They've only dropped 2.6% of the catchable passes thrown their way from Jalen Hurts. That is the 2nd best rate in all of college football. And I talked about it a little bit before, the passer rating when targeting their receivers. The Sooners are 1st overall, 149.0. We've never seen that happen for an entire team for an entire season. So they are in uncharted territory that obviously leads the country. It leads just about everybody. CeeDee Lamb is everybody's darling right now. And on the list for the Heisman Trophy as well as the Biletnikoff. So CeeDee Lamb, a guy to watch. The Sooners, a receiving core to watch from top to bottom as well. Here it is, though. We're going to get now to it. The top 2 in the country, top 2 pass catching units in the country are going to face off against one another in Week 11. Number 2, the LSU Tigers, averaging 9.17 yards per route run. That is 5th. They've come down with 59.2% of the contested targets thrown their way. That is 4th overall. They are the 2nd highest graded unit overall. LSU gets it done with their crazy good trio as well. Terrace Marshall, Justin Jefferson, and Jamar Chase all have their shining moments so far this season. They all will need to be big to face off against Alabama, who is number 1 on our list. It needs no introduction, and I don't think this is a list that anybody didn't think would be topped by Alabama, whether it's Henry Ruggs, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, or the reigning Biletnikoff Award winner Jerry Jeudy. This is a team that gets it done after the catch, gets it done at the catch point, hands on their routes. They separate beautifully from routes. Tua and now Mac Jones have been able to find them wide open because that's just how good this entire team is. And then if it boils down to it, Najee Harris out of the backfield has one of the catch and runs of the year. Hurdling a defender, stiff-arming a defender, spinning, shedding tackles. Harris gets it done. But as a unit, as a team, they average 9.36 yards after the catch per reception. That is 1st. 9.59 yards per route run. That is 3rd among all 130 teams. The Bama Crimson Tide receivers have been outstanding. To no one's surprise, they're number 1 on our list. 115 receiving conversions through the air. Again, the Bama Crimson Tide is by far the best receiving core in the entire country through 9 weeks. They get to go up against LSU in Week 11 as a battle of not only number 1 and number 2 in terms of quarterbacks for the 2020 NFL Draft, but the receiving core as well, getting the benefit of the doubt in Week 11. Bama versus LSU, big-time stuff coming up. But again, number 1, Bama, number 2, LSU, and for the rest of the top 130 pass-catching ranking units after Week 9 of college football, head over to PFF.com and be sure to sign up for your chance to win $1 million to throw at the national championship game at EckrichFootball.com.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.